Hi everybody, my name is Anthony Sultan, and on behalf of Chloe LeCouret and Noor Mohammed, we would like to welcome you to this week's presentation, Social Media in Health Profession Education. Here are some of the learning objectives we would like our participants to achieve by the end of the week. By the end of this week, we would like for participants to recognize the advantages and disadvantages of social media to teach health professionals, identify how assessment can be completed using social media as a healthcare educator and learner, and create one post, tweet, or short video to teach their peers on a topic of their choice. So here's the plan for today's presentation. We'll first define social media, we'll discuss a bit of the history of social media, then we'll talk about the teaching strategies and learning theories that are associated with health profession education and social media. Then we'll talk about advantages and disadvantages. And finally, we'll discuss the activities myself, Chloe, and Nora will present throughout the week with regards to our respective social media platform we chose to use. So what is social media? Well, according to Merriam-Webster, social media is a form of electronic communication, such as websites for social networking and microblogging, through which users create online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content such as videos. Now take a moment and think about what is your own definition of social media in today's world. So here's a brief history about social media. Well, first of all, in 1884, the first concept of social media was introduced via the telegraph machine, where people could network and discuss and communicate with each other. Then in 1969, ARPANET came about, the first digital network allowing scientists to communicate and share software with other data and other people. In 1987, NSFNet was really the direct precursor to the internet. The first true social media was created in 1997, 6 Degrees, where people could register with their emails, families, and friends, and network and communicate with each other. Then came the short-lived Friendster in 2001, then in 2002 LinkedIn, MySpace in 2003, and then of course Facebook, which is today one of the most used platform in the world, more than 1.7 billion users actually in the world. Then came along newer platforms such as Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and nowadays TikTok in 2016, which is about to surpass Facebook in terms of popularity and users for social media platform. Here's a very simple diagram demonstrating the popularity of social media in the United States. Again, those numbers are very dynamic as new social media platforms come along, gain users, and other platforms lose users, of course.
Why using social media for education? In the 21st century, most students use social media, and it's considered a fundamental part of their lives. Social media transcend the boundaries of communication and allow educators to stretch the barriers of educational institutions. They also allow for opportunities to connect with fellow students and experts worldwide. The information is freely available, which democratizes educational content. Social media platforms are economical and incredibly user-friendly, especially with small devices such as smartphones and tablets. The information and course content can therefore be accessible at all times. What is the mechanic behind this teaching strategy? First, social media is founded on student-centered learning. The students are empowered to diversify and expand their learning methods. The educator acts as a facilitator to knowledge acquisition. Social media also allow for active learning. It gives the possibility of asynchronous learning. The learners are in charge of their educational journey and are not limited by a fixed schedule. Social media is also well suited for peer-to-peer learning. This well-established strategy is beneficial for both the students, teachers, and their peer, and allows them to develop their leadership skills and solidify knowledge. This learning strategy allows students to meet their learning needs independently, which is an essential skill for healthcare professionals. This strategy is also based on the benefits of networking. The interaction with fellow learners around the world ease access to experts. In summary, educators adapt their own teaching strategy to the learning methods and resources used by today's learners. Education on social media is based on cognitive and social learning theories. Students develop their own critical data analysis and learning skills as they become familiar on these platforms. Therefore, they can build new knowledge upon those experiences and further develop new set of skills. Social learning theory stems from the cognitive learning theory. The interactions and exchanges with fellow social media users allow the learners to create new knowledge together. As part of the social learning theory, constructivism is probably the theory that best supports this educational tool. Students are actively engaged in their learning journey. As a result, they can adapt their learning methods based on their skills and achieve learning objectives according to their needs. A good example would be the social media algorithms that allow learners to construct their own vision or opinion on a given topic based on their own experience and knowledge. The learners can then share their own understanding with the rest of the world, which offers a sense of educational autonomy.
Hi, it's Nora, and I'm going to be speaking about the advantages of using social media as an educational tool for healthcare professionals and in healthcare education. One of the advantages is that social media use as a learning tool promotes student-led learning. Students are able to direct their own education, use their own creativity, and discover things using platforms such as TikTok or Instagram or Twitter, rather than just memorize and gain information and knowledge through a more lecture style based education. Another benefit is that it empowers the learner to expand their knowledge independently. So again, students are able to go on the platforms and learn themselves. Another benefit is that it is a networking tool for peers and health experts. So people are able to connect beyond just in their classroom. They connect to like-minded people who share professions and interests like them. There's also the benefit of having educational content on various social media platforms. And these social media platforms can be used together as well. So for example, you could have a TikTok that ends up on Twitter, or a Twitter post that ends up on Instagram, and all these different combinations. And all these educational content can just be accessed by learners on their own time, so semi-synchronously and within their own availability. And there's also access to resources and content. You can actually find very reliable news or very reliable articles on these various platforms. Another advantage is how the learning is presented in different formats. So whether it's on the devices such as iPads, tablets, phones, or laptops, or the opportunity to learn asynchronously, the curriculum can be aligned with how technology is emerging throughout the world. So for example, TikTok has become a really big platform now, and learning can be presented on there, or it can be kept where students are more used to it. For example, platforms like Twitter, and it can be adapted based on the students that are doing the learning. And while social media does have a lot of advantages as a learning tool, there are some disadvantages, including the risk of finding what is quote-unquote called fake news, right? Finding news that it has not been, or information that has not been verified, that is completely false and lacks evidence as well. The entertainment factor of social media and what it's used for can also dilute evidence-based information. And another disadvantage is also the fact that the internet and social media is not always accessible to everyone based off of where you are in the world, financial abilities, or other determining factors. A lot of people, including educators and learners, are very hesitant to use social media for various reasons, whether it's because it's a new tool that they're not used to, or they don't believe in the platform in of itself. So sometimes the presenting learning on this platform can be an issue of accessibility and unequal opportunity for learning. Social media also does have a stigma and a very bad reputation. It is seen as a place of entertainment and unrealistic expectations and displays. So learners and educators may be hesitant to use it for learning. And again, there is a very, very high risk of spreading misinformation and false information that can affect the validity of learning. Now, social media is actually an amazing way to carry out assessments, and it is something that I personally have used in my own teaching as well. It offers various forms of assessment that you can use, such as question and answer opportunities, interactive polls, and live discussions where students can discuss with each other and with the educator as well. And there are actual assessment tools based off of surveying likes or comments or discussions where educators can assess what their students are learning, how they're learning, and how they're putting their learning into practice. Different ways to do this on, for example, TikTok includes duets or comments, retweets and hashtags on Twitter, as well as replies and quizzes written and exchanged on Instagram as well.
I look forward to seeing you all on Instagram this week. We'll explore this tool and see how educators can use all of its features to engage students. Follow me at edu_5202. See you there!
I would love for you guys to all join me on Twitter, following me at edu_5202, where I will be tweeting information and encouraging us to engage in a discussion concerning using social media as a tool and a possible way to carry out assessments and discussions for students. So I'd love to see you there. Please give me a follow.
So the platform of choice for social media that I'll be using during this project is TikTok. It is a platform that I'm already using as an anesthesiologist to collect some information from fellow colleagues around the world. They're able to have a much bigger reach than I am and provide very interesting and evidence-based information. So you'll be able to follow me at Dr_Anthony Sultan. Unfortunately, the EDU5202 username was not available, and we therefore realized that it actually worked out with TikTok, where people are usually known as doctors on their username so that they can reach more people. So you will be able to find some interesting information in the next few days. More importantly, regarding education and social media, how we can spread information on short video clips. So whether it is some real literature, some theoretical concept, and also try to input some of the interesting myth and reality concept in anesthesiology that could be interesting to everyone, even those who are not in the medical field, such as epidurals, general anesthesia, and how do people feel, some pain, some key information, and to demonstrate how we can use other common users on TikTok to get some information, and how also it is possible to often get lost and confused with some less validated information. So please follow me, use the hashtag EDU5_5202, and please like and comment most of my clips. You're welcome to duet them. I'll try to have a live discussion at some point during the week with a Q&A and some polls. And again, follow me and you're welcome to join.